Have you ever stopped for a second while you're plugging your phone into the network and thought, what the heck is Wi-Fi really? And how did a name that means absolutely nothing technically take over the whole damn world? We use it every single day, everywhere we go, from the second we wake up until we crash at night. But most of us have been living in a sweet little lie for the past 25 years. A ton of people still swear that Wi-Fi is short for wireless fidelity. Sounds super logical and pro-right, kind of like how hi-fi means high-quality sound. But here's the truth you've been brilliantly played by marketing geniuses. Wi-Fi doesn't stand for a single thing. It's just a word they made up in a room full of branding experts who were trying to sell you something you can't even see. Welcome to Mysteries of Simple Things, the channel where everyday secrets are uncovered and explained. To understand how we all fell for this giant hustle, let's rewind to the late 1990s. Back then, we had giant desktop computers, cables everywhere like spider webs, and that horrible screeching sound of dial-up modems. If you wanted the internet, you had to sit still in one spot. Pick up the house phone and boom, your whole online world died. Big tech companies like Lucent, Nokia, and Symbol were working on a new wireless standard. But there was one huge problem: their gear didn't talk to each other. It was like buying a Ford but only being able to gas it up at Ford stations. So they formed an alliance called WICA and created this super complicated technical standard called IEEE 802.11. But let's be real, who the heck wants to walk into a store and say, hey, can I get a router that supports IEEE 802.11b? Sounds about as exciting as a washing machine manual. The engineers loved the name. Normal people, not so much. WECA knew they had something that could change humanity, but they'd given it the most boring name in history. So they did what every big corporation does when they're stuck. They hired a top marketing agency. That agency was Interbrand, the same people behind the name Prozac and the legendary Compaq computers. Interbrand showed up with a list of 10 possible names. Believe it or not, Wi-Fi wasn't even the favorite at first. In that meeting room, the world almost ended up calling wireless networks Dragonfly, Hornet, or even Trapeze. Imagine walking into a coffee shop and asking, what's the Dragonfly password? Ridiculous, right? But Phil Belanger, one of the founders of the alliance, fought hard for Wi-Fi. Not because the name had some deep meaning, but because it came with this super cool yin-yang logo that Interbrand designed. That logo didn't stand for radio waves, it stood for compatibility. It was a promise that no matter what computer you had, if you saw that logo, you could connect with the whole world. So why did the entire planet end up believing Wi-Fi meant wireless fidelity? Because the people who created it got scared we wouldn't understand a made-up word. Right after they picked Wi-Fi, they slapped on the tagline, the standard for wireless fidelity, just so regular folks wouldn't be confused. And that tiny little marketing mistake turned into a 25-year-long historical lie that even got into dictionaries like Cambridge. Phil Belanger later admitted with a sheepish grin that it was the worst decision they ever made. He still keeps the old golf shirts and hats printed with that tagline as souvenirs of the biggest mix-up of his life. To see just how genius the name Wi-Fi really was, look at its cousin Bluetooth. While Wi-Fi was invented by a marketing agency in New York, Bluetooth was named after a 10th century Viking king, Harald Bluetooth Gormson. The king was famous for uniting the Danish and Norwegian tribes, just like the technology unites devices. The Bluetooth logo you see every day is actually his ancient rune signature. One side an ancient Viking king, the other a product of modern marketing. Both became invisible things we can't live without. But don't let the shiny marketing fool you, there are real heroes behind the scenes. Before it had a cool name, Wi-Fi started life as technology developed by NCR Corporation for cash registers and supermarkets. Yeah, the grandfather of Wi-Fi was built so checkout lanes could send data to the back office without drilling holes in the walls for cables. And we can't forget Vic Hayes, the Dutch engineer nicknamed the father of Wi-Fi. He spent 10 years of his life sitting in smoke-filled rooms with hundreds of stubborn engineers to hammer out the 802.11 standard. While Steve Jobs was stepping on stage at Macworld in 1999 holding up that iBook and surfing the web wirelessly to thunderous applause, Vic Hayes was quietly standing behind the curtain, happy his work had been saved from being forgotten. We also owe a huge thank you to Australia. The engineers at CSIRO down there invented the key technique that stops Wi-Fi signals from bouncing around and getting messed up in closed spaces. Without the Dutch brains and the Aussie tech, your Wi-Fi would be so slow you couldn't even load a photo, let alone stream Netflix in 4K. The perfect mix of pure engineering smarts and world-class storytelling turned something invisible into a multi-trillion-dollar empire. Look around today, Wi-Fi isn't a choice anymore. It's a basic right. Did you know the average American household now has 17 devices connected to Wi-Fi? From smart fridges that text you when you're out of milk to your watch, even the light bulb in your bathroom. And that number is about to explode when Wi-Fi 7 drops 4,000 times faster than the first version back in 1999. If early 2000s Wi-Fi was a slow bicycle, what you're using right now is a SpaceX rocket. It changed the way we grew up. Remember 2006 grabbing your Nintendo DS trying to connect to that old router so you could play with your buddies? That magical moment when the green bars popped up and broke every physical barrier, that's when our generation really stepped into the future. Wi-Fi became the backbone of the modern economy, adding more than $1.6 trillion a year to the US alone. It lets us work from the beach video call family on the other side of the planet and kept the whole world from losing its mind during the pandemic. So next time you see those little signal bars in the corner of your screen, take 1 second and smile. You're using technology that started in supermarket cash registers, was perfected by quiet Dutch and Australian engineers, almost got named Dragonfly, and was finally named by the same company that made Prozac. Wi-Fi has no technical meaning in any dictionary, but it means freedom. It's living proof that when humans combine dry science with killer storytelling, we can create miracles that change all of humanity. What did you used to think Wi-Fi stood for before you read this? Tell me, I bet we all fell for the same scam for years.